Sheriff Ray Nash, Police Dynamics Media. You know, a couple of videos ago, I talked about the giant chessboard, how your jurisdiction can be viewed as a chessboard where a war is being waged, a battle is taking place between the cops and the crooks, good guys and the bad guys, to reclaim ground and take over territory, and how criminals can move in and establish a stronghold within these neighborhoods. Now, there's three things that allow criminal strongholds to exist: fear, apathy, and tolerance for crime. You take these three away, criminals can't operate. Number one, fear. The criminal knows they must be able to intimidate the good people that live there. So I used to have this nosy neighbor speech that I would give at Crime Watch community meetings. I'd say, the one thing a criminal fears more than anything else, because they don't fear the police, is a nosy neighbor. And if we could all be nosy neighbors, well, criminals can't operate that way. We're watching out for each other, report, call the police. Well, that worked years ago. But criminals have learned from this. And now they no longer fear the nosy neighbor because they know they can intimidate the nosy neighbor. What a criminal really fears is an empowered community. A community that stands together against them with the police coactively to send a message to the criminals: you cannot do it here, you're not welcome, and you will not be able to operate in this neighborhood. That's number one. Secondly, apathy. If a criminal rides through a neighborhood and he sees the overgrown lots and the abandoned cars and the broken down houses and the graffiti on all the walls and the litter over all the streets, it sends a message to them that this is a community that does not care about itself. Therefore, I can move in, I can pretty well take over. So apathy is a key element. And tolerance for crime. If you tolerate crime, you're going to have crime. And you will have just as much crime in a neighborhood as you're willing to tolerate. If the tolerance for crime is way up here, crime will rise to fill that vacuum of tolerance. If we drive the tolerance for crime down, we drive the crime rate down there with it. We tolerate far more crime in America today than our parents did, and they tolerated more than our grandparents did within our communities. And it's kind of like tolerance to a drug. It increases incrementally over time. All of a sudden, one day we get here, we say, what happened to our neighborhood? We got drug dealers on all the corners, we got all these random acts of violence, we got fear and intimidation ruling the streets. Where are the cops at? They must be on the take, they can't be trusted, they don't care about us. They're scared too, whatever you might conclusions you might come to. As a result of this, how did we get there? Slowly, incrementally, one step at a time, till one day we looked around and said, now we got a huge problem. Fear, apathy, tolerance for crime. Take away these three, the criminals cannot operate within a neighborhood.